Dude, focus, or we're Mission Impossible mode right now.
Okay. Yeah, we got to come at this with Tom Cruise intensity.
Yes. What's the thing?
Now, I'm JJ, and this is Donovan.
This is Donovan.
Today we're going to be ranking the legendary Tom Cruise monuments of cinema, Mission Impossible, on a tier list. I'm going to send you what I think the tier above S should be.
You know what? I think we have too many kicks in the movie, Tom. I mean, I never say to Woo's face, but I think you got... You know what? Kick. Let's call it... You know what? Let's call it Kickin' Impossible. You could go...
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Kickin'
Impossible. Let's go, bro. Let's go. And we all remember Tom Cruise's crash out from the set of Dead Reckoning during COVID. So I'm thinking for below D, we can put...
I don't ever want to see it again! Ever!
I gotta add that.
Yeah. Ever.
I think I've been asking you to make this video for like months.
I know.
It sounds cliche, but I'm excited to be here because this is probably my favorite franchise.
Fair warning, glaze warning. We're going to be glazing the hell out of Tom and these movies.
So without further ado. The first movie was, I think, maybe the most different from any of the other movies. It's not action heavy. The filmmaking is definitely very 90s. The plot is very convoluted. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machina devices. So immediately I was like, wow, like, there's 6 more movies to go after this. Upon rewatch, it went from being my least favorite movie in the franchise to probably one of my favorites. Also, the big stunt in the middle of the movie being the foundation of stunts for all the movies going forward.
And it aged like fine wine. It feels simple compared to later films, but it was such a good blueprint. And starting with humble beginnings, even going back to that wire stunt, like that's probably, unless you're counting like the explosion of the aquarium earlier in the movie where Tom Cruise runs out of the water, that's a cool scene. But that and the wire stunt, both which were done practically.
So you hear 1, 2, then, and on 2, the tank behind me blew out, and then 3. So it took everything in my power to stay there for 3.
Are just the tiniest bit of foreshadowing of what's to come with the insane stunts in these films. The disappearing CD trick that Tom Cruise does, the close-up magic thing, which we see call back to later on in Dead Reckoning, was done both times practically, which is sick. I always thought it was visual effects.
So hard to keep track of these things.
Here, this is what I've learned. Every time Ethan Hunt does something in this series, we were like, that's kind of ridiculous. How would Ethan Hunt just randomly know how to do that? Tom Cruise actually did it. So it's not ridiculous because a real person actually did it on camera.
Yeah. So I have an idea. I have a pitch. The majority of these movies are top tier. And I don't feel like any of these movies need to go in C or D. So my pitch is that we can have Kickin' Impossible S, A minus, and B plus.
This makes it a lot more interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't want to sit anything in D.
Luther, I guess you're all out of excuses.
This does not come close to reaching the heights and stakes and scale of feature movies, but being what it is, just like a tight, self-contained spy thriller plot, I think it aged phenomenally well. It's still an entertaining watch to this day. So I'm feeling personally A to S on this.
Ooh.
What are you thinking?
My only thing with the first movie is that it does feel a bit overstuffed. But it's like bringing someone else into the franchise. Oh, man. Like a new person who's never seen any of these movies. It is a harder watch.
So you think you feel an A minus?
I'm thinking A or A minus.
Okay, tell you what. Why don't we start with it in the middle with A minus, and if we're feeling it, we can adjust it later.
Okay.
Because I agree. I actually experienced this with my wife. It's not the most gripping.
Yeah.
And it's not representative of what the series will become later. Like, she wasn't that invested in this one, but then she joined me on the couch watching Final Reckoning, and we were like both at the edge of our seats. So yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, dude. One of the best ones.
Hell yeah. This is the movie that gave
Absolutely, dude.
Kicking
You know what?
Impossible.
Let's stop talking automatically. This is
Hell yeah.
Kicking Impossible.
Hell yeah.
You know, jokes aside, it is kicking, dude. It is some of the best action in the franchise. John Woo, he just came in and was like, I'm just going to go crazy with the stunts, crazy with the action.
When you're making one of these movies, everyone, you sit down, you go, okay, what do I think's cool? I love motorcycles. Then you see what John Woo does with a motorcycle.
Yeah. You got to kind of respect that he was just a G, walked into this project and said, I don't really care what the tone of this is supposed to be. I'm just going to do my thing.
I have a pretty good instinct about action.
And just completely disregarded the previous film.
This ain't funny.
To be fair, it is the most whiplashy film of the franchise. Like,
I've really come around on this one.
Yeah.
I can sense that you have too. When I introduced Donovan to the franchise, I said, skip Mission Impossible 2, which I kind of stand by. If you're going for immersion and consistency, I think it almost helps to skip it just to feel like you're watching a consistent story.
Why don't you come back with me?
Just don't know why I'd be doing it.
Well. Now, if it isn't Mr. Those Who Can't Do, Teach.
But coming back around to it, I was like, bro, like it's a little goofy, but it's got the sauce.
You mean it'll be difficult?
Very.
Well, this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible.
It's got the stunts, it's got the flips, it's got the exciting action with a flavor that none of the other movies do.
Yeah, I still think the stunts are fun. The knife stunt, dude, where he used a real knife.
Yeah, best stunt of the movie.
Inches from his eye. He didn't have to do that. He could have used a fake knife and it would have looked just fine too. Tom Cruise constantly just ups the ante.
I think when you are at the start of your journey as a filmmaker and you're kind of a purist and you're like looking for what the best movies are, it's easy to scoff at a movie like this, which I think is where we were both at the beginning. But once you kind of mature and you learn to take the best from every project, you realize that this movie has the sauce, and just don't take it seriously and just enjoy.
Yeah, I agree. But ultimately, and you might agree with me, I want to put it in the bottom because while I do respect the movie, while I do respect the movie, I'm glad that the movie, the rest of the series didn't go in this direction.
I won't fight you on that just so we can use this tier because I know, Lord knows we're not going to use it for anything else. But I think it's funny that we can simultaneously have a movie in Kickin' Impossible and I don't ever want to see it again.
Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Can we clone it and put it in both of those?
You're my mind, dude. So we're going to put this, I don't think we've ever done this before. I don't ever want to see it again because I did not want the franchise to look like this. But it's also kind of Kickin' Impossible.
All right. Dude. Mission Impossible 3. People don't talk about this movie enough. People just talk about, oh, the Burj Khalifa scene, oh, the plane stunts. This movie is kind of the beginning of the crazy high-octane action feel of the series. It's got some great stunts. It doesn't have as much as far as practical stunt work as the feature movies. If this came out today, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that pendulum swing that Tom Cruise does from the building to building. Yeah. He would have found a way to do that practically. But just in terms of tone, Philip Seymour Hoffman's incredible performance, Cruise's performance always bringing the intensity.
The only way you're gonna get what you want is for you to... You think I'm playing?
J.J. Abrams coming in as the third director in this project in a wild series of events where initially David Fincher was considered, but he had such a bad taste in his mouth after directing Alien with big studio films that he thought he was going to be shackled with the tone. So he left the project. And J.J. Abrams brought the sauce to this movie. The cinematography is great. He's got a lot of that long lens, high saturation feel. Very early 2000s-y, but it works. The VFX and cinematography of this movie aged very well. My favorite shot in the entire film is the shot of Tom Cruise running away from the explosion on the bridge, getting smacked into the car, which was practical aside from the plane. Yeah, man, this movie's got sauce. This movie's got aura. Sorry, I just glazed the hell out of it. Let me let you talk.
I mean, you nailed everything, dude. I mean, not to get ahead of myself, but I want to rank this movie high because, as you said, it's underrated. It is ultimately the movie that saved the entire franchise. I don't think it started with 3. It definitely didn't. Tom Cruise was definitely running back in the 80s and 90s. People noticed it more in MI3 with the Shanghai scene of him running through.
Oh, dude. Yes.
The town, which is probably one of my favorite shots of the movie. And it's almost hilarious how long the shot runs for.
Nobody's complaining though. And
no.
I think they did multiple takes of that. So imagine doing that sprint for multiple takes.
I think MI3 has maybe the simplest plot. It's easiest to get into. You don't have to watch 1 or 2. There's not a lot of spy stuff going on in it. There's a little bit in the middle, but at the end of the day, the plot is just capture the rabbit's foot and save Julia.
Yeah, this could have been the end. You could see how this could have been the end of the series. Thank God it wasn't.
Yeah,
because we were really just getting started.
This movie, I don't think it's kicking impossible.
No,
I don't
know. That's hollowed ground.
I love this movie so much. In my opinion, I want to put it in. I want to put it in A.
The only problem with that for me is that I have Mission Impossible ranked higher than MI3 in my list. Well, because for me, it's just such a classic. It gets special points for being the first. Man, yeah, it's tough. I'll accept this ranking because it's us coming to a consensus, but my personal ranking has it above 3.
To meet at a middle ground, I'll put it here.
Michael Giacchino returning.
He returns again. The main thing I want to say is that I genuinely cannot think of a single bad thing about this movie.
Yeah, I think it's S.
I think it's, but I think before Fallout, it was like the best Mission Impossible. And I mean, there's so many reasons for it. The stunts like really started with Ghost Protocol. Obviously, you had the wire scene in 1, you had the knife scene in 2, you had the jump in 3, but like where the franchise got its holy fucking shit, no way they're doing this, started with Ghost Protocol.
The Burge. It was very complicated.
Radio check, I got you, Greg, thank you.
You're not only talking to the stunt guy's talking to Tom. I'm talking to the helicopter pilots. Tom's in these harnesses that are uncomfortable. There's all these limitations. The helicopters can only stay in the air about half an hour. The IMAX cameras can't shoot long. They burn through a lot of film really fast. If you have to reload the camera, they have to take it back to the helicopter base.
We all had dinner together, and so I kind of cornered him, and I said, hey, tell me about this. Like, I'm afraid of heights. How did you do this thing? And he just laser locked, and he was like, I've been dreaming of this shot for 15 years, of this sequence, and finally I had a chance to do it. So I go to the safety guy. I tell him this is what I'm gonna do. The safety guy says, you can't do that. That's too dangerous. And I'm like, and he goes, so I get another safety guy.
That iconic photo of Tom sitting barefoot at the top of the Burj Khalifa. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Have you seen the comparison with Will Smith sitting at the top? You have Tom Cruise just sitting casually, no wires,
zero harness,
barefoot, just enjoying his life.
And you've got Will Smith
hanging
like sinking
for dear life.
It's like sinking into it, which is how I would look, just sinking into that, holding on for dear life.
In many ways, I feel like this almost made the franchise.
Is it kicking impossible?
Ghost Protocol?
Is it?
God damn it, dude. At this rate, I'm gonna end up putting all the movies at.
You're right. No, you're right. We got to reserve it for only the most special,
very special movies. But I do want to put an S tier.
Yeah, for sure, S tier.
Into the McQuarrie saga.
Really cool fun fact on Ghost Protocol I forgot to mention. Apparently he was credited, he had an uncredited reworking of the film. The more I hear about Christopher McQuarrie, the more I'm surprised. It seems like he has his hands in everything. Like apparently he went to DC with a treatment for Green Lantern and they said no.
What?
Yeah, common L for WB. He's obviously a writer behind Top Gun. Like this dude is just involved in all of the great action movies, but you know, his magnum opus is Mission Impossible, starting with this movie. I'm happy that they let him come back for future movies because I don't think you're going to disagree with this. This is probably the weakest of his 4 movies.
I want to contend with you there. So
this movie's good. This movie's good.
I don't know if it's the weakest. I do have a weaker film, but I see where you're coming from. There's so many amazing things that this movie, I think, did so well that ultimately I think kept Christopher McQuarrie as director for the rest of these movies. I mean, starting with
what do you think those are?
The theater scene, that's just like peak filmmaking in every aspect, from the editing, the direction. The chase scene, the underwater stunt, so good.
Dude, can we pull up that scene?
I will.
Where Alec Baldwin is just glazing Ethan Hunt, and he's like, Ethan Hunt is a force of nature. You cannot understand him. He's everyone and no one. He is everywhere and nowhere.
Please. Hunt is uniquely trained and highly motivated. A specialist without equal, immune to any countermeasures. There is no
It just drops the most epic speech on him.
He cannot breach, no person he cannot become. He has most likely anticipated this very conversation.
They're talking about him like they talk about the entity.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. The entity is most likely knows this exact conversation we're having.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir, Hunt is the living manifestation of destiny.
Like, all right, bro.
The few scenes that we've been talking about so far, like he does know how to cook so well. He ultimately is just getting warmed up for Fallout, because that is a movie we gotta glaze for sure. We gotta glaze in the same way he glazed Ethan in that scene.
What else?
Speaking of, breathtaking, dude, the first scene is like him holding onto the side of a plane and going up into the air. Like,
yes.
So
oh my God, how did we not talk about it?
I think it's kind to the point where it's like, that is the Mission Impossible stunt.
I give it the thumbs up to camera. They're inside the airplane, and I'm telling him, let's go, let's go, let's go. He's pushing that throttle forward, and we are hammering down that runway, and I'm like, holy shit.
I feel like I enjoy this movie a little more than you.
Yeah, I would put it in B+. Okay. I would put it in B or B+. Maybe not B. I would put it in B+. Okay. I think it's good, but I think everything that it does well is done better in future movies. I think every stunt in this movie is perfected later on. So like, you have, I think, more intense breath holding sequences later, water sequences, and I think you have more intense motorcycle chases later.
I see where you're coming from. I think I can agree with this ranking. Man, I fucking love this movie.
Oh, let the glazing begin.
Dude, this was the first Mission Impossible I saw in theaters. I could pause. It's hard to watch this movie and not want to pause every 5 seconds to talk about how much I love every moment of this movie. Action, I mean, we talked about John Woo action, but people called this movie the best, one of, if not the best action movie of all time. And there's a good reason for that.
I studied this movie, dude. I listened to the entire commentary by Chris McQuarrie. Every sequence of this movie is iconic. I think it reinvents the cinematography style of these films.
Oh, yeah.
The camera movement changes from Rogue Nation to this in a way that is repeated for the future films. You've got like that, a lot of those fast-moving dolly shots. You've got the tungsten look, as McQuarrie talked about, versus the kind of more saturated look of Rogue Nation. I think the last 3 movies of the series, Fallout, Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning, these become some of the best looking blockbusters
100%.
ever.
Yeah.
Which is an overlook. Like, it's not really common to glaze the cinematography of Mission Impossible movies, but you got to give credit where it's due.
Going a little ahead of myself, I remember watching the first trailer for Dead Reckoning, and it was like just music and visuals. And so the fact that we can be so hooked onto a movie just from the cinematography, from the trailers, it's just funny to me, but also like incredible.
It does the Mission Impossible 3 thing of having a breakneck pace, but every sequence is practical and iconic. So you have the halo jump. You could make an entire video about this halo jump alone. The amount of logistics that went into it.
We have a 3-minute window upon which I jump out of the air. We do the scene inside the aircraft and jump out. And then I have to fly down and be within 3 feet of the lens, because he's pulling focus and I'm skydiving down to him, and I have to be within 3 feet of him because of the depth of field, because of the light and the lens that we were using.
This was the sequence of the movie.
You know what? I think it was excellent. I think it was excellent. I think we really... We'll take a look at the footage, you know. That's what it always comes down to.
Okay, this is perfect.
Good speed in there. Boom, it happens.
Yeah. Money. Well done, guys. Really amazing.
Very proud to
Really
say it.
You have the motorcycle chase where he gets knocked off the motorcycle, where he's driving practically. You've got the car chase, and it all links together so beautifully and logically.
Don't forget the part where he breaks his ankle running.
Yeah, the part where the foot chase, where he breaks his ankle running. Yeah. There's a note about that entire sequence in Paris. The reason why you're able to maintain the audience's attention throughout that super long sequence that starts with a foot chase, goes into a car chase, goes into a motorbike chase. First sequence, music is very heavy. Mm-hmm. Sound effects are not heavy. As you move into the next sequence, the music and sound effects are at a similar volume. And then final part of the sequence, it's just sound design, no music. It's like those subtle shifts keep the audience on their toes. So you're not just having music blare in your ears the whole time. Yeah. But like little things like that are testament to like just the perfection that the team strived for with these films.
I love the soundtrack to death. Lauren Bell just killed it to the point where the scene where Ethan is running across Paris, the soundtrack for that is so iconic. It is probably what single-handedly got me into running. Every time on the treadmill, it's one of my go-to songs.
Though there are amazing sequences from here, we both agree this is the absolute peak of the series. And there are ways that the feature films fail to live up to this. So this is absolutely the standard.
I agree. It is a standard. God, I want to glaze. I want to glaze, dude, but you did all the glazing for me. I don't think you'll want to continue me here. I think this is kicking impossible.
It's kicking impossible.
100%.
It's kicking impossible.
I'll leave it right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, we didn't even talk about Henry Cavill. Talk about
dude, Henry
the arm reload. The arm reload.
Bicep reload, dude. First of all, I'll start by saying I love the movie to death. But I think originally when I came out of theater seeing it, I think I was a little underwhelmed because I was expecting Fallout level everything from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just had such huge expectations. But that being said, I don't want to say it was bad by any means either. The idea of having an AI being the villain of the movie, it's bold. And honestly, I mean, I think this also ties into Final Reckoning, the series being called Mission Impossible. How much more impossible can you get than a villain who can predict your every move? Everything you could possibly do next, it's thought about that. And plan B, plan C, plan D. How do you even beat that? Like, it should be impossible.
Turn right. Take the bridge to your left. Ethan, that is not me. Do you copy?
Ethan, come in.
And so it's honestly, it's so in line with the series. I think it's done so well to the point where, as we joked earlier, every other conversation is like, the entity has probably thought about that possible
very conversation.
The next move, the next conversation.
The entity knows who we are. Any move we make, it's probably considered it. Anything we do, we have to assume that it's counting on us to do it.
This is the movie where I think it's McQuarrie's weakest, solely because I feel like he's making this movie and trying to live up to Fallout and not really trying to make it its own movie, which I think he does a better job with in Final Reckoning.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. I think Dead Reckoning, maybe because it's directly following Fallout, doesn't feel like you could kind of feel a lack of Falloutness in it. I didn't feel that at all in Final Reckoning. Final Reckoning very much feels like its own movie where it's trying to up the ante in its own way. Dead Reckoning is kind of just like, well, you know, there's a chase, but is it as good as the Fallout chase? You know, there's a fight scene, but is it as good as the Fallout fight scenes? And even the big stunt of the movie, I feel like is good.
It's
but not that it isn't amazing that he jumped off of a cliff with a motorcycle, but the whole ramp is replaced with CG, which kind of gives it a computerized feel.
You're riding a motorcycle, which is pretty dangerous, on top of a ramp that's elevated off the ground, so if you come off the ramp, that's going to be very bad. You're not going to make it.
This movie's good. It's got good filmmaking. It's got good intensity, great action. But as far as what it brought new to the series, I think you're right that it's not the strongest. I personally would put it above Rogue Nation. If you want to put them in line with each other, because I know you have it below Rogue Nation. I have it above Rogue Nation.
I kind of want to put it in B, but if
how about there? Yeah,
I'm okay with this.
Can we move MI3 up to A tier? I feel like it's wrong that it's in A minus.
Ooh, I agree.
Okay, that feels better.
I agree. I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to put an A.
Okay, good.
All right, dude. Final reckoning. The final reckoning.
Nice.
So, this is something I didn't touch on too much in Dead Reckoning. The entity, while I love the idea, I think the entity should be damn near impossible to defeat because it's so smart. It should be smarter than anyone or anything. But the way they beat the entity was by Ethan Hunt just doing the most Ethan Hunt thing Ethan Hunt would do by doing crazy stunts. And while I understand that it's a low possibility that he'd be able to pull off what he did by hanging on to the side of a plane while it's flipping in the air, I do feel like the entity should have predicted that in a way because he's done this before, which leads to my next point of I do feel like the franchise should end here.
Yeah.
As much as I love Final Reckoning, it does feel like a lot of what we've seen before, from the underwater stunts to him hanging on the side of a plane while it's in the air. But that being said, that's pretty much all bad I have to say about this movie. They put Ethan Hunt on like a pedestal. The way what's his name was glazing him in Rogue Nation. This This is where he actually is. The president of the United States is looking up, is hoping for him, like is holding off all these military.
So badass.
He's holding off the entire military and all these other countries.
Yeah.
He's like above the IMF at this point. It's him or nothing.
I love it. He's a superhero. He has evolved to the point of like Batman in his universe, where he's in a room with the president and all of these generals, and he's like, "I need you to give me a boat so I can jump off into the Arctic." And, and like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, it works. It works with the universe and the character that we've established, and it also works because I joked with my wife. That's how Tom Cruise is. Like, you could imagine that as a producer meeting, where the producers are like, "What do you need, Tom?" And he's like, "I need a military aircraft carrier." You're like, "All right." And I want to glaze the editing a little bit here. These movies are such a masterclass in editing. Eddie Hamilton, the editor of these movies, kudos to you, bro. Used a phrase that I thought was amazing. He was like, the choreography of exposition, or the choreography of dialogue. You'll have two groups of people talking about the same topic on different parts of the world, and yet they're intercutting between the dialogue as if characters are reacting to things that the other group said. So good. And going into the set pieces, I don't feel like, whereas Dead Reckoning, like even down to the poster, kind of looks like it's trying to imitate Fallout, Final Reckoning, I very much feel like is its own movie and does its own thing. I thought the submarine sequence was fantastic.
And you must be out of your mind.
That IMAX fight scene with Tom Cruise in his underwear versus a random guy with a knife.
Yeah.
Thought that was incredible.
And I also love how they brought in so many elements. As we were talking about earlier with 3, building on what Darby's Foot actually was, like bringing that back in. The way they brought in so many things and really made it feel like every single action that he's made so far, with the exception of Mission Impossible 2, culminate here.
So you're him.
I think just makes this
awesome, the
perfect conclusion to the series. And I can't really think of a better ending other than maybe killing off Ethan, but you don't kill Tom Cruise. He doesn't die. Unless it's Edge of Tomorrow.
Just wait. I think I'm okay.
You know, my personal bias, bro, I think this movie's got the sauce. I personally, this might be controversial, but you know, I have this as my second favorite behind Fallout. So I could put it in Kickin' Impossible. I could put it in S, but I don't think it deserves to be anything less than S tier.
I don't think I would put it in Kickin' Impossible, but I wanted to be above Mission Impossible 3.
Maybe
we can put it here.
Maybe same
or here. I think I'm okay with S.
Okay, yeah, let's go S. We'll put it behind Protocol for you, but yeah, as long as it's on S tier is S tier, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Dude, can we just appreciate the fact that the only 2 movies we have in the top tier are Mission Impossible Fallout and Mission Impossible 2?
As it should be, dude.
I would not have expected that.
I wasn't I think we just agreed with this so much. I mean, it's such a fun movie. As I said before, these were hard to put on a tier list because they're all so good. I mean, they're all so exceptionally well made. It's like trying to rank your favorite movies. I'm like, I don't know. They're all 10 out of 10s. It's weird because I didn't necessarily grow up with these movies. They kind of hit me all at once.
Looking into these movies just reminded me why I wanted to pursue film in the first place. Just the joy of making films and the joy of searching for new ways to outdo yourself. And Tom Cruise, I think he just cares about bringing that experience to audiences. And he doesn't discriminate between purist, critic audiences and the average person. No, he's just like, I want to give whoever's watching the movie an experience.
I really create a team environment and one that I push for excellence. But obviously what we're doing is extreme. And all of us know it, and all of us are very respectful of that and don't take it for granted.